Okay, so we will officially call our meeting to order at 5:02. We will note that Ms. Hill is absent from tonight's meeting. The first item of business that we will go to is the approval of the agenda. There were a few additions since we talked today. I think everybody may have seen the emails or since the initial one was sent. But we've got the just some discussion about primetime and discussion about after school clubs. I think those are the two items that were added from there. So do we have a motion to approve our agenda?
A motion.
A motion by Ms. A. Is there
Second.
a second by Ms. Hobbs? Any discussion? All in favor of approving our agenda, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. The next item on our agenda is to review our minutes from the March 21st meeting. You remember we canceled our April meeting due to me having every single illness known to man at the same time.
What did you have?
I had flu, strep, and pink eye
Oh, God bless your heart.
all at the same
I
time.
saw the eye. It was awful.
Didn't have
I've never
COVID.
seen anything like it.
I mean, positive for flu and strep.
I did never test it positive for strep, but they were like, there's no way you don't have strep. So,
And I was like, oh my
Yeah.
God, your eye.
I was curious.
yes, I had all everything.
They've never seen a
Glad you
case
said
of
no.
pink eye
Yeah,
like
we are
that.
glad you know.
Yeah.
Nobody needs that.
Yes, so we'll just take a minute to review our March minutes. You've got them in front of you. They're 3 pages long. When you're ready, we'll take a motion to approve.
Skimming. I'll make a motion to approve.
Motion by Ms. Bowers, second by Ms. Lane. All in favor of approving our minutes from March 21st, please say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Awesome. The next thing on our agenda is good news report. So typically I type out all the amazing things that are going on here at school. And apparently today when I was doing my agenda, I totally forgot to do that. So it's been a great 2 months since then. Kelly noticed because I sent her my notes for this. So it's been a great 2 months. We got 12 days left. Does anybody else have any good news they want to share?
Thank you to the PTA for $800 to help pay for our Fort Heritage trip.
Yes.
Good. I'm glad.
Good day.
Yeah. Yeah, that.
Yeah.
Everyone returned.
Yeah. We've had lots of field trips. We got the PTA carnival.
I'm not on PTA yet. Next year, so I feel like I'm involved.
Preschool Derby was a success.
Preschool Derby was so cute.
We're gonna go all out. Like,
You better, yeah.
we're gonna invite all the parents.
Yeah,
It's gonna be a big deal.
Yeah.
Love it.
Okay. Awesome. With 12 days left. So we're happy. That's great news.
Was it 12?
12 days. Yep. So,
Just excited.
so next item on our agenda, we will go to the comprehensive school improvement plan. These items were already sent out to the council. It's our professional learning plan and our implementation plan. I know we voted via email, but we are going to officially vote again tonight to approve it. I am not going to re-go over it unless people have questions or would like me to re-go over it. It is a whole bunch of cockamamie and it just says a lot of BS, if I'm going to be really honest with you. We're doing what's required by the district.
Flair. Let's call it Flair.
It's flair and fluff. And we did what we had to do to turn this in.
Really good.
So if there are no questions, we do need a motion to officially approve the professional learning plan. And again, these can always be revised. No one's from the state is going to come down and say, why aren't you doing X? If our data says we need to go a different direction, we always have the ability to go that direction.
I assume these numbers were.
That is straight from our CSIP.
Yeah.
So the goals in our document all came directly from the CSIP. No, that was a district goal. And so we had to meet the district goal. And so that is what we have to do to get to our district goal. So this is what would be our goal at the end of next year to be on that process. Okay, a motion by Ms. A,
I'll second.
second by Ms. Bowers. Any more discussion around our professional learning documents? All in favor, please say aye. Any opposed? Just for writing,
Okay, I was like.
yes.
I
So
think some of this.
they use
oh,
aspects
yeah.
of it.
I was just curious if it was like a school-wide thing, so I was like, oh, that is.
Yes, yes. No, we do the one writing
Yeah,
3 times
no,
per
that's-
year.
That's, I was curious.
Okay, so that motion carried. So next item we will go into is our map data for the spring semester. So up first, we'll look at math. I'm going to go through this slightly quick because it's the same slides that we've done each time. In the spring, we were at 11% of students below the 20th percentile. 9% were between 21 and 40. 18% were between 41 and 60. 21% were between 61 and 80. And 41% were between 81 and 99. I will say that in the spring, we test a lot of our EL students that have been exempt all year to give us some baseline information to start next year. And those students do typically perform at a lower level because it's their first time taking the assessment. So that sometimes sways our data. The next slide is all of the grade levels. That's just kind of for your information to look at how they're doing. But when we look at students that are below the 40th percentile, that's kind of where we look at students that are lower performing. Our goal is that this percentage will be going down each time we take the assessment. Kindergarten is now at 13%. They were down to 4%. I will say this 13% was a huge influx of EL students that are new to this country, and we just wanted to see where are they at, kind of with some baseline data. First grade, they're at 13%, which is the lowest they've been all year. Second grade maintained theirs at 23%. Third grade went from 26 down to 25, and now they're down to 24.
Okay.
So they're headed in the right direction. Fourth grade started the year at 35%. They're down to 23%. Huge growth. Fifth grade made a little bit of a jump from 22 up to 24. And then overall, we went from 23 in the fall down to 20. And what I'm really excited about is last spring, overall in math, we were at 27% of our students below the 40th. We're down to 20. So that is a huge, amazing drop. So this next graph just kind of shows that. It just shows how a lot more of our lines are starting to trend down. So we're starting to see, I feel like now we're really coming out of that pandemic slump and starting to see the progress that we were making previously from there. So this slide shows where the national norm, so what the average for a kindergarten student, they should score a 157. Our kindergarten average was a 173.2. So they were 16.2 points above the national average. So in every single grade level, we were above the national average. And at every single grade level, we expanded on where we were in the winter. So they're all slightly larger. Some of them are pretty significantly larger.
Kind of averages yet, do we?
They just announced it at the board meeting last night, and I didn't have a chance to look at where we compare to where that's in the deal for this week. When we look at strengths and growth areas, says pretty much that strength areas are the things we taught really well: operations, algebraic thinking, number, and operations. Growth areas, things we didn't spend as much time on: geometry.
I will tell you, fourth grade had not taught geometry.
Right.
Or has it been in there?
Like so
Isn't that typically
it's
what it is?
always this way.
Yeah.
Because now, like, second grade teaches their geometry first thing, and then so not anything that's really stressful here. So the next slide shows what percent of our students are meeting their growth projected by MAP. So up here on the board, if it is 60 or above, that is considered accelerated growth. So we are closing gaps. If we are 50 to 60, we're making good progress. It just may not be closing gaps. Anything above 80, which is the blue, is our tier one is phenomenal. So as you can see in kindergarten, fall to spring, when we look at just the academic year, fall to spring, our kindergarten killed it. They rocked it out with that. Small class sizes, which we'll talk about that here in a little bit because they're not going to be as small next year. First grade, 68%. When we do look spring to spring, which is the whole kind of calendar year, we don't see first grade was at 48.5. Second grade, when you look fall to spring, they were at 50. Spring to spring, they were at 15. Now, keep in mind, there's a change in test.
Okay, that's what I was.
So this is a totally different test, but we still want to see that progress. So third grade, 57%. Fall to spring, 60% spring to spring. So great growth spring to spring for our third graders. Fourth grade, fall to spring, 55.9, 75.9% met their growth spring to spring. That is huge, phenomenal growth. And then fifth grade, 53.8 and 50.8. Overall, as a school, 62% of our students met their projected growth according to MAP fall to spring. So that's showing that we're making good progress. So we are seeing that summer regression in the summer slide.
I don't really like the winter test.
Mhm.
I would prefer us not to take it because I think I don't know, it does weird things.
It does.
I don't know how it is compiled or thrown or the algorithm that throws the I don't know. It's like some kids who do really well in the winter drop in the spring, and the ones that go from fall and drop in the winter, they pop back up in the spring. And I don't know why.
Right.
Like, I don't really know why. But I do think especially, and for our ELs, probably if you grafted, I really worry about their summer regression. And I know that's not like, we don't look at teachers being like spring to spring. Well, I don't know what you did all summer. You know what I mean? But I do worry that seems a population that always loses that standard deviation and then they pick it back up, but it's always the same.
Yes.
So they sort of, I don't know, I do worry about that population just in general.
Yeah. And in conversations through the district, just in talking to other principals, math was more of a struggle than reading was this year. So.
And do we have is it a district-wide curriculum?
There is a district curriculum, but it's where we allow our teachers to choose and pick what's going to be best for their students. So then when we look at different demographic groups, same things here. We see some really strong progress fall to spring. Our overall schools at 62, males are at 66, Hispanic 63, our Black students at 71, 2 or more races 61, Asian 62. When we look spring to spring and we see that summer regression slide, we're not recouping that as quick with some of our subgroups. So we're going to continue to work on, okay, what can we do summer wise to support these students and allow them to be successful from there. And then when we look at our 3 big groups, our 3 focus areas this year have been Hispanic students, active ELs, and free and reduced lunch students. If you see, we started off in the spring of last year, the gap between Hispanic students and white students was 27%, 27 percentiles. That is now at 25. The reason this is red is because it's slightly up from where we were in the winter. When we look at our active ELs, in the spring of last year, we were at 23.39% of a gap. That's now at 21. So we want that. It's good that we're closing those. And free and reduced lunch, the gap between students that are free and reduced versus paid lunch was 22%. It's now at 20%. So we are making progress towards our growth, towards our goals. Some of it's just slower with that.
Are we free lunch next year?
We do not know yet. They've not released CEP schools for next year. I
So
feel
they
like
can
that
get
will help.
people from applying because they don't need them.
Yes. Selfishly, as a person who's going to have a child here, I want us to be a CEP school so that I can have them eat lunch for free. But as a principal, I'm like, it would be very helpful to have like that you either pay or you fill out the form like it. But it's such a benefit for our school to have that.
No, I just think it should be. I'm just saying, like, I think that keeps like.
It does. Yes. They don't think they need to because, hey, I get free lunch regardless. So we move into reading. 10% of our students are below the 20th percentile. 10% are between 21 and 40. 13% are between 41 and 60. 24% are between 61 and 80, and then 43%, 81 to 99. You have all the grade levels for your studying pleasure. When we look at the percentage below the 40th percentile, great news is every grade level except for kindergarten either reduced or maintained their percentage from where they were in the winter. So first grade's at 18%, second grade's at 22%, third grade's at 22%, fourth grade's at 27%, fifth grade's at 17%, and overall we're at 20%. So we are seeing some progress in this area. And that just shows the trends that a lot of grade levels are now trending down, which means that good news is there's only one grade level that's going up right now, and that is it's either fifth or no, they're flat. The yellow's pretty much flat. So third grade went up slightly. This one looks like this dark blue. So I think that's fifth grade. No, I don't know. Maybe it's green. Second grade. I think second grade, but that's also the change in assessment. So when we look at the norms, again, we are above in every single grade level, above the national norm. Our fourth grade really expanded theirs up by about 4 points. Kindergarten or first grade went up by about 4, third grade by 5. So when we look at skills, our third, fourth, and fifth graders love them some fiction. They love some fiction, these groups. But across the board, we stink at vocabulary. I'm not a huge fan of how they ask vocabulary questions because it's some random word on the, like, what is this? Yeah, it's out of context and it's just so. So when we look here, same chart, kindergarten, 81.1% meant their fall to spring. First grade, 58.3, and then 66.2. Second grade, 62.2, 57. This is really where we see the change. Like that's where, like, even though we saw a big drop off in math in the second grade test, they're able to maintain in the reading. The reading test is more closely aligned to between the two. Third grade, 54.2, 64.3. Fourth grade was in the green for both, 78 and 67. Fifth grade, 51 and 50. And overall, we're at 63.6 and 60.9%. So we're making good progress here. Some grade levels, we got some work to do, and we're going to continue to roll with that. Then when we look at our subgroups, fall to spring, everybody with the exception of Hispanic was in accelerated growth. Spring to spring, our girls, our Hispanic, and our two or more races didn't make as much growth. And then when we look at our gap groups, in the spring of last year, Hispanic was at 29%. They're now down to 26%, that gap. Active ELs were at 27. They're now at 26.
Except we had all of the newcomers take it.
Yeah. But that's good that, hey, we're still, even with all those newcomers taking it, the gap is still closing.
Yeah, just saying we took,
Yes.
welcome to America. Here's the reason. See how you do.
Yeah. And then free and reduced 24 down to 20. So everywhere we're closing our gaps. So any questions on our end of year math data? Okay.
I have a quick question. If
Yeah.
I open that door, is an alarm gonna go off?
Probably.
I've already set off one alarm.
Sorry, no, everyone's like, well, the alarms.
Well, no, I set off one. Hey, Owen, come here.
Okay. So the next item on our agenda is our budget reports. You have in front of you the Munis report. We are officially past the PO deadline. So we are just literally waiting on everything to clear. We did hold a little bit of money back to use with the P card, the credit card that's in my name, so that if we need to buy something last minute, we have some money that's available. So it looks like we have a lot of money still, because there's still a lot of salaries that are coming out. There's still a lot of just different things. We're also trying to hold $8,600 back so that we can use that towards staffing next year. So that was something that we allocated back a while ago. So you see a lot of negatives. We're just waiting on the district to do their duty and
So did we do
close it out.
anything with the ESS money this year?
we
Is
did.
that-
So what we decided to do is because they did Summer Ignite here, we just opted to buy stuff. So we
Oh,
just,
okay.
we purchased some programs and some materials, and then we're going to use that to supplement our kindergarten Ignite week.
Okay.
So that we can get that boost.
Scrapped the apartment.
Yes, for just for this year, because it was going to conflict so much with,
No, I understand that.
yes. We were very hopeful, and then it all fell apart. So you've got all that then in our school activity fund. Let me get to that page. You will see where we stand with everything. Amber and I are working right now to finally we've now got the money moved out of different things. So there's a lot of zeros. Now we're just working to get rid of those accounts and get them moved over. One area that I will just bring to the council's attention is through an errant deposit, we discovered that there was an illegal booster account being used by one of our staff members. They didn't know they were doing that, it was illegal. But the chorus account was discovered at the central bank. The sponsor of the chorus club thought that it was just linked to us, but it was not. It was a separate account. So because of a deposit, we discovered said account. So that's why you see it now in here. Chorus had a $582 deposit because we closed that external account, and it is now sitting in our books. So that was just a fault of one person thought one thing, and I had no idea because it wasn't here. So I didn't know to even be looking or thinking about that. So, but we do have a fair amount of money here. If you remember, we allocated most of our after school fund to cover a kindergarten para to start the year. So really, even though we have a bunch there, a lot of it is currently allocated to somewhere else with all of that. And then we're going to figure out what we can do with this energy award. It's very specific things that we have to do. So any questions on budgets? Okay, up next is our parents and family engagement
Are we
policy.
getting the fee waiver money we're supposed to be
Yes,
getting?
yeah. Amber is, every time we go on a field trip, once everything clears, Amber sends in a whole list, and that amount is slowly diminishing. You can kind of see it if you look in.
I just wanted to make sure it was man.
Yes, we have received, let's see, what page is that on?
You don't have to show it to me. I just wanted to make sure they were paying us.
Yes, they send us a check every time. So we try and do them all in smaller bunches, but it's in the,
I believe you. It's okay.
well, now I gotta know. You messed with my head. Now I gotta know. Because I had just seen it a minute ago. Okay, so it is on page 3 of 18. So we have already,
Fee waiver.
we've already brought in, if you take 37.95 minus 12.55. So we've gotten about $2,500 back in fee waiver money. So we've been diligent about trying to get as much of that back as we can.
But they're not gonna give it to us.
Yeah, no, we have to prove it, and we have to send it, and we have to send in everything. So, okay, so the next item on our agenda is the parent and family engagement policy. We've reviewed this a couple times. So today I think we are at the stage where we can go for an approval. Everyone wants to take a second and just review it.
The first thing that popped up to me, even for the box tops.
Yes. I got 2 checks today for $21 and
They're digital.
$14.
To scan them.
I don't know that.
Where is it scanned? Because I've.
You have to have an app.
Dumping them at the.
Yeah, no, you have to have a Box Tops app and you don't scan the box top, it's your receipt.
Oh. Right.
Yes, so that, yes.
Maybe, do all parents know?
No.
I don't even know that.
That is, yeah, it's all through PTA, like, because it technically can't be school, like we can't run it. So,
So you scan the receipt for the purchase? Not the-
yes, you don't scan the little things.
Oh, then it's, well, I think in that right there, it's too much. That's
Like more of a pain in the butt because it's like, oh, wait.
We get Target money. I always have my Target.
Yeah, I do
I-
my target money to, and
I think PTA may get some, I don't know.
There used to be a
Amazon
line
used to
item.
do it too, but they.
It's not on our account. So Amazon Smile is going away.
Yes,
They're discontinuing that.
I know.
Um, But yes, we do box tops.
Good to know, thank you.
Yeah, I got 2 checks today. So, yeah, whopping $42, I think.
What's that from? Like a month or a year or?
Like,
I think it's.
these are the first 2 I've gotten this year. So it's probably
That's a lot of work.
the fall.
I didn't even know this existed. I didn't even know the thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. We have, let's see, we've got in box tops, we have a good amount of money in box tops.
$6,000.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Let's separate that up.
So yeah, like,
But you do have to, like, it's all digital now.
Uh-huh.
Coming out.
you can't cut, there's no cutting, there's no sending, there's no, it's all scan your receipt. So,
It's like when my girls were going, they had the diaper things, like you could collect these like Pampers dollars and then you could use them to buy like a Barbie Jeep and then they just got rid of them.
mhm.
We're like, oh, this is interesting.
We need a motion to approve whenever somebody's ready. I'm not rushing anybody. Motion by Ms. Russell, second by Ms. Hobbs. Any additional discussion? Okay, all in favor of approving our parent and family engagement policy, please say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. We will have the joy of revisiting this again next year. So that is our last policy. Woo! So,
Proficiency levels. I'm pretty sure we did. Proficiency levels, students are expected to meet as well as where their child is performing in relation to the standards. What does that mean?
the proficiency levels that students are expected to meet, as well as where their child is, it's probably missing a that.
It's okay. I
I will-
was just reading that.
I will add a that. Proficient levels that students are expected to meet.
Okay. Because I was like, proficiency levels students
Uh-huh.
does not even work for me.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've read it 3 times and I'm just not catching it.
Okay, so up next is our enrollment update. Not much has changed here. We're still, I mean, little things are changing. We're at 64. Kindergarten's our smallest at 64. Second grade still rocking at our largest at 89. I will report that as of today, we have 61 kids already enrolled for kindergarten next year. For right now, that is huge, seeing as we only have 64 kids in kindergarten right now. And so that's a great news for us.
A lot of really cute ones.
A lot of really cute ones.
Tell me right now.
Okay, so next item is just the attendance update. You can see on your graph that attendance is up and down. It has gotten better recently. We're still kind of maintaining right about 94.5% overall with a goal of 95. So we're just never hitting where we need to be. And attendance is still down across the whole entire district. Ever since COVID, families they're more cautious and they just keep their kids home more than what they used to. So. Okay, next item, staffing update. So tonight we are happy to formally announce the following new staff members that will be joining us here. I will be sending these out to the full staff tomorrow so that they will know the people that we have already officially gone with. Our first position is our LBD teacher. That is Rebecca Turner. There's a bio there from her. She's going to be in her 12th year. She's currently at Coventry Oak. She was their teacher of the year this year. So she's looking for just a place to call home and to have a nice home family. She will be bringing her son Malcolm here next year. He'll be a second grader with us. So the next one, our MSD teacher will be our second one will be Christy McClurg. Christy is currently living in Florida. She lived here in Kentucky previously, and then they moved to Florida. While she's been in Florida, she's been teaching in an LBD classroom. In Florida, you are not required to be certified to be a teacher. So she is not currently certified.
Wow.
But she is going to be starting her master's program in MSD. So she'll be option 6. She does have multiple years of experience as an MSD para. No.
No.
So no, she has a degree. It is not a teaching degree. It is a degree. And in Florida, that is all you have to have.
Do you know what her degree is in?
I don't know off the top of my head. I know Christy. Yes.
Special education for some.
Yeah. I worked with Christy at Garden Springs when she was a para there. And she was very strong. And so she will be coming to us. She'll also be bringing a student here. She'll be bringing a 4th grader to us. So the next one is a special education para. This is Margaret Boris. Margaret is currently in
Bowling Green?
no, she's here. She's Southside Elementary in Versailles. She's currently in Versailles as an MSD teacher. She worked for 27 years in media advertising before she decided to get into the education world, and she fell in love with special ed kids. So she is coming to us, highly recommend it. She also goes to church around the corner. So she goes to Holy Mother Queen of all Greek Orthodox Church right there. So she's very excited to be here with that. The next special education paraeducator position is Deborah Carmichael. She doesn't have a picture or a bio because she is already working here. She is just moving from our kindergarten para
These two
position.
people will be in the MSD room with this person.
Yes.
The new.
Are we having an actual another classroom?
Yes.
Okay.
Whole second classroom.
And you don't know where that's,
Not officially.
okay, I'm just curious.
So
I'm just
Friday.
nosy Nelly.
Friday. So, but
Friday you'll know.
Friday people will know.
No, he knows, he's just not spitting. the information right
Friday
now.
on our live, so probably that's in there.
Maybe.
Things like that.
So she's moving from our kindergarten para position to a special ed para position. So the reason these say special ed is because we have not decided who's going to be LBD, who's going to be MSD. We're kind of looking at all those things other than the MSD teacher and the LBD teacher. And then the last one is another special ed para, Kimberly Colgrove. She's currently the secretary at Madison Central High School. She previously was a toddler teacher for 6 years at a daycare center.
22-year-old?
She was a 22-year-old.
22.
So she'll be joining us. More than likely, she will be our PASS para, working with our PASS program.
I'm
Yep.
sorry, do we have, I saw classified permanent sub, do we have a certified permanent sub? Is that still gonna be Whitney?
Yes, our current person has said that she is willing to stay on as our certified permanent sub. She would love to be considered for if we have a classroom position open. She wants to be considered for that, but she just wants to be here. And so she's opting to take that role and stay with us to be here. So additionally, the Spanish teacher, we had interviews yesterday. We are planning to recommend a woman named Beth Ortegon. She is currently the Spanish teacher at Mary Queen of the Holy Rosary School. She's been the Spanish teacher there for 7 years, working with their elementary program. Our interviews, she was great. The others, not so much. So she will be a great asset to us. I'm waiting to hear from the district because this is a weird position where it's a district position placed here of who officially does the offer. So I don't know if I'm supposed to call her or if the district is. So that's why she has not been formally. I talked to her principal today.
And so we still have another paraeducator position.
So we still have our special education, another special education paraeducator. I currently do have a verbal offer out to an individual. She's just dragging her feet. She's waiting on another school. And I knew that because I talked to that school. She's waiting on another school to see if they're going to give her an offer. And if they give her an offer, she's going to leave from us. So her name is Susan Bell. She's currently a cafeteria worker at another school, but she went on disability and was placed as a para at a school while she couldn't do the cafeteria work. So she fell in love with it. So she can, yeah, she had
Okay,
surgery. Yeah, she had surgery and is fully fine to
Okay.
do everything.
Sounds like I would think the special ed para would be more.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. She wasn't doing like she didn't do any para, like she did like cafeteria duty and like library para and things like that. But she says
Okay.
she's fully comfortable to do anything related to special education. So
Okay.
additionally, we have a preschool paraeducator that we'll be filling. We have interviews for that next Thursday since our amazing current para has taken a position as a lead teacher. We're very excited for her, very sad for us, but very excited for her. She is more than ready. So we're going to be hiring a new preschool para. We also have our classified permanent sub, which we will need to fill, but we'll wait closer to August to fill that because we'll wait to see who's available at that point. From there. Additionally, when we did our special education scheduling last week, we had a very difficult time making the schedule with the staff that they allocated to us. So I have requested an additional LBD teacher from the district and 3 additional special education paras, because the group of kindergartners we have coming in have so many needs that we need more staff. So I'm waiting to hear back from them. If we get them, I'm not going to lie, the special ed paras are going to be hard to fill. People just aren't taking those jobs.
What do you think is the likelihood that you'll be granted those positions?
I feel pretty comfortable with the LBD teacher. I feel pretty confident.
Against the law, what's currently there.
We are currently, if every student qualifies that's in referral, which we believe they will, we will have 45 kids in LBD. There can only be 15 kids per caseload. We have 3 times 15 is 45. So we can then not refer anybody for special ed,
Illegal.
which is illegal. So, so I feel pretty confident that we'll get that LBD teacher at some point. I am very hopeful. When we did the LBD interviews, there is a second candidate that is really strong that we really loved. I've already talked to that candidate and told her what's going on. So she's aware that we're very interested in her.
If you're granted that position, can you go ahead and offer
Yes.
the job because you've already interviewed?
Yes. So and she knows that, like, I've talked to the woman and she's very aware that, hey, we're holding on this. This is something we are very interested in you. We just need the district to say yes. So, and the person who's making the decision, I found out today, is in the hospital right now. So we're kind of in.
One person
Uh-huh.
making decisions.
So the special ed paras are going to be a hard sell. My greatest fear is that they're going to say that because those are kindergarten students, the kindergarten paras count as additional adult support. And so that would be 2, and then they would make us move kids to the same homeroom and have 2 kids that are super high needs sharing a para, because the IEPs don't say one-on-one para, it just says additional adult support.
But they will only be in the room half-time though.
that would be the thing, like, it would be, we would
And they're
not,
paid the same.
and they are not, and that's my argument is the kindergarten paras are not paid
Nope.
as a special education para, so they should not be asked to do the role. So I have all my lineup of,
Yeah, they're half-time anyway, so even if the child was in the classroom the full day, they still would only be getting part-time support.
yes, because like we have 2 students in first grade who require full-time para support that are going into first grade, current kindergartners, that the district may look at me and say, you have to put those 2 students in the same homeroom and have those 2 students share a para. So, which for those 2 students, they can't function with one person, because if you look, if you take your hands off of one, the other one's gone.
I was always.
Field trips, cause like one of my kids is with one, like the parents go on field trips, cause
Mhm. Yes, so,
they need 2 for one kid. on a
Yes.
field trip.
so,
So
so,
someone from there come and try doing the job for one day.
so, yeah.
Half a day. Give them a morning.
So I'm working with them. So as soon as I hear, I will let everybody know. But we'll go from there. Additionally, in the district budget, apparently I didn't know this, they have proposed a curriculum coach for every single elementary school. So
Sorry.
that would be here. So we may have that position here, like it would be, we would hire, it'd be our employee, it'd be everything, like they would work for us, like it wouldn't be, it's not a district
Do we
person
make them a
here.
Teacher and just forget the curriculum.
That's what I don't know is how that works, and
They do intervention.
There used to be a curriculum.
we had
We paid
one
for it.
and we paid for it and we chose to go away from it this year. So that we could have more staff.
It was like a split. It was like half PSA, half.
Yeah,
At some point.
this Dove, it was Dove and then
Mark Rose,
Mark Rose and then Alice, no.
And Mark
Alvin
Smith.
Nolan was who was it most recently, Tara was in it.
That's, so I mean, we've had the position.
So I don't know if that's gonna actually, that's just what the principal text messages were saying today is that there's this position. So that may come out and we may have to hire for that. So, but that would be every elementary school be getting one. So we'd all be fighting for the same people, and the pool's not that deep. And we then classroom teachers would be getting pulled into this role, which it's just gonna be
So are
separate.
there's like with a PSA or do they have to have leadership?
No, this could be a
Just-
classroom teacher.
okay,
It could be
go
any,
with it.
yeah, curriculum coach can be anybody that has that's interested in that role. Doesn't have to be a leadership.
I'm not going there.
It's
but-
a box seat.
So that is what is.
Jan would like to apply.
Nope.
No, yeah.
So that's where we stand on staffing. I appreciate everybody who has sat in on interviews and had that joy with us. We do a lot of them that time of year. Okay, the next item on our agenda is to talk about the master schedule for next year. I will say that I would like for us to approve this today because we've already built special ed schedules around it. With that being said, there's a chance the district may come back and tell us we have to change it because of band and orchestra. Because typically by this time we've gotten those schedules. We have not gotten them yet, so I don't know for sure. So there may be slight tweaks, but that would only be probably at the 4th and 5th grade level, we would see those tweaks. But this was presented to the leadership team here, and then there were tweaks made based on that feedback. We were not able to accommodate all of the requests, but we did make an effort to do as many of them. Our goal with this was to get as much content, core content, reading, math, writing, in for K-3 before they go to lunch. And so at kindergarten, 1st and 3rd grade, they have all of their math and reading before they go to lunch. 2nd grade has their math after lunch. 2nd grade was comfortable with that. It did mean that 4th and 5th ended up with some more of their content in the afternoon.
We're fine with that.
But
We don't have a choice.
Yeah.
Like, that's just the way.
yeah,
Is.
with band and orchestra being in the morning, they're kind
I don't
of,
think we've ever been able to, like,
Yeah.
ever. Just because of band and orchestra.
Fifth grade? What
Yes.
is like block 1, 2, and 3?
so fifth grade is considering, depending on what the team looks like next year, they're considering departmentalization. So one person would be responsible for teaching the reading to all 3 groups. So in block 1, it would be one person teaching reading 3 times. So so with that one, it's either that everybody would teach reading. They would all be on the same planning period, but they would have like block 1. One person teaches reading, one person teaches math, one person teaches social studies. So, and then they rotate the kids through.
Which, so it's
Yes.
okay.
It's ability grouped. It's grouped by that. So they're looking at that. If the team's not comfortable with that next year, we have the self-contained schedule next to it, which is where you see the reading, science, social studies, math.
Mhm,
Um,
mhm.
So, and the darkest colors on your copy are areas that we try really hard not to pull students out of the classroom, so they can be in the classroom for that main content area.
What's the difference between guided reading and reading?
Small group and whole group.
Yeah, small group and whole group. So reading is whole group, so full class instruction. Guided is you're teaching into small groups and giving more direct individualized instruction to the students.
So kindergarten,
Yeah.
is it an hour of small group?
There's a split because of the paras. So they're gonna do an alternate schedule so that the K paras would be with 2 teachers for guided reading. And then would flip flop and be with the other 2 teachers for their guided reading. And the same thing with math, that they would be split between the guided math times.
I feel like second grade has less time. Like 40 minutes small group, 25-minute whole group for math.
They have more math in that.
No, but it's just.
I think theirs is a little more in science social studies. And if theirs bled a little bit that way, I don't think it would be an issue.
That
Like,
makes sense.
Mm.
But I'm like, 25-minute whole group, 40 minutes.
It's an-
small group.
I would say it's an S.
yeah,
It's a working doc.
yeah, it's
Well,
just, this is a general, this is roughly what you should be doing when. The key is that, are you hitting your times where we'll start pulling out for win time, for guided math,
Right.
guided read, like then we're gonna start hitting pullouts. What you do in the dark blocks is you got a lot of flexibility there.
I like that, but there's like times that like, Aaron, you can't pull.
Yeah.
Or EL or.
Yes,
What
Do they
is,
all have WIM this year?
yes.
what does 5th grade do? Because they have a lot of the dark colors.
So we target and pull out. Yeah, so that's gonna be hard. And so we're gonna work on it. So some of it will be like for special ed, we do have to pull some students out of the red because they just have so many minutes. So we try our best not to do it. And if we do, we pull from that last half hour. So they get the first 30-minute kind of bulk of the instruction, and then they may not get as much of the independent practice, but they're gonna get it in the support times.
What about, gifted kids?
We are working on Gifted on Friday. That's our, we did special ed last week. We're doing EL intervention and Gifted this week to work through those. Because it's really going to come down to how do we structure Gifted on a 3-day schedule and ensure that our students are getting the highest level of support.
Have you figured out where Mrs. Downing is going to be when?
I have not yet. They have not, I don't even know that it's officially Miss Downing. Like we've gotten, so the only position district thing that I've heard of is EL. Like we have not heard Gifted, we've not heard speech, we've not heard ACs, like any of these district band orchestra, haven't heard from them. Like we're kind of in a holding pattern.
Well, this is just a personal Gherkin.
Yes.
issue, But like, they told us we have to decide by Monday. for
Yes.
Oliver. But like, we don't have, they're gonna extend it for us, but I'm like, I can't decide, like, we have no answers.
Yes.
I don't know.
Yes, and I hope to have we'll have a good plan of what GT will look like on Friday once we meet with Thursday, once we meet with Miss Downing, and we're moving forward, like, we're gonna have her, that she's gonna be our GT teacher. And we're pushing for, I think Wednesday through Friday, that she would be here with us. So that we can kind of, teachers can introduce skills on Monday and Tuesday, and then she can extend and build upon or go deeper on Wednesday to Friday. So. Welcome to Fayette County. Everything is delayed.
Sending it.
Yep.
Someone told me on the phone that I had, they're like, oh, we just do it whenever. And I'm like, oh, now that I know that.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, we'll decide in September.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. So yeah, it's a difficult thing, and I am still pushing every single day that we need a 5-day GT teacher. That is an everyday push. I send an email to Peg Cullen every day. Like, we need this, we need this. Our third grade numbers with testing, when they skyrocketed. We have so many kids, second grade, I swear at least a quarter to a third of that class grade is PTP and something. Like, it is just, first grade is massive. Like, so we've got so many kids that have the ability. So yeah, we're pushing every single day. Yep.
Request.
Yep. So, okay, so is there a motion to approve? Motion by Ms. Hobbs. There a second?
I'll second.
Second by Ms. Lane. Any more discussion? All in favor of approving our master schedule, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Awesome. Next item, really quick, instructional fees. You have it, look at it. We're doing fine. So they did set $120 for next year as well. So that is the most we can spend, most we can ask of families. And you can see at no grade level did we get close. Third and fourth are within $10, but I think that was even before, when I had you guys' field trips were higher. I hadn't reduced those down because with the PTA money. So, okay. So our next item is the community garden grant. I know Ms. Hill was going to present this, but I think Ms. Hobbs is going to talk us through it.
It says, my client Lauren Cagle, who lives in the neighborhood, has offered to write the proposal, build and help maintain a community garden for the school. This is the grant. So it's a $2,000 mini grant. One per year. The project idea is classroom supplies, field trip or field day costs, rural community gardens, outdoor classroom space.
Is it the Big Ideas grant?
It says conservation education grant.
Okay.
And that's all it says. Community garden, yeah. So I'm not,
Yeah, my big concern, and I'll talk to Lauren about this. My big concern is just the maintenance of it. I have just seen them. They look beautiful when you put them in, and then someone stops maintaining it, and it's.
We used to have that like wetland thing. Like weeds.
So yes, I'm fully in favor of it. I think it's a great opportunity for our students and our community, and as long as somebody's willing to water it.
it just needs to, you need to have, it says those that help maintain. So what does help mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like you come twice a year?
Yeah.
We need clarification on help maintain.
Yeah, so I will get with Lauren and
And by
both
garden,
Laurens.
Like fruits and vegetables, or do we mean like flowers?
Fruits and vegetables.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I guess, yeah, it's just like how,
Yeah,
yeah.
The only issue with that is a lot of that is harvestable in the summer when we're not even in session.
Right, that's
So
Now, when we had a courtyard, Mrs. Royce did it,
Yes, she did.
and we had a huge garden of.
And then the mural.
yep, hallway murals.
What she said is just what Dixie did, and we're not gonna just do exactly what another school did.
Yes,
I love the idea. I think that it could be something that we could look into, but we're not gonna copy their Instagram account. You know what I mean?
yes,
I like the idea, but I think that we need to,
I think our hallways are hideous.
I agree. I think that we just need to do something that's Lendover original.
Well, I think it'd be nice if there were like international flags painted on the
Exactly.
walls.
Something that describes us more so than.
Yeah.
That, but I love the idea of a mural. And I feel like that's something that PTA could pay for
Yes.
and use. And so I.
When I started here, the cafeteria wall had a mural on it. It
Yeah.
was awesome.
So I
Yes.
feel like that's something that PTA should really tackle this summer, about looking for artists and ideas and,
I will say Ashley Worley did the murals at Stonewall
Okay.
in their library. And she was the art teacher here previously, and she said she would come back and do it for us. We just need to be able to pay her.
Of course.
So,
Well, let me, that's something that I'll talk about this summer and try to see what we can do.
Yeah.
We want someone here too.
Yes.
What is your?
Uh-huh.
I'm a vice president.
Okay.
I
so,
want this color removed from ours.
yes, no, I want murals everywhere. Like I was talking to a teacher about doing like having the kids like making the walls and then have the kids do handprints for their house in their house
So
color
that's super cool.
with their kid, with their name, and then we just paint over it and then they do it again the next year. Like, and so just do it like, so.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Okay,
So-
I will.
It'd be neat to have a sensory hallway too, like even if it was just a short hallway somewhere. I mean, there's places that put like different textures on the wall, so kids that need to touch the walls or walking down the hallway can feel different textures and.
I love that idea.
That
Spanish hallway.
Because there's always one or two in every class, they're noticing everything.
You could put a whole room there.
Right here is just wall.
Yeah.
So there's a hallway on the other side of these two rooms that's like,
That literally, there's a
does-
door.
nope,
that
doesn't
goes
go
there.
anywhere. It's just a
I
hallway.
mean, my son this
Maybe a
morning was having a
preschool
complete
area.
meltdown.
Would be great to have
And
a sensory
he went into,
sensory room.
yeah, and he went into the sensory room for 5 minutes and he came out and was ready to hand out cupcakes. And I was like, oh my gosh, like it was amazing. Like,
Yeah.
It was so good.
Yeah. So yes, I'm full in a favor, and
But
I think-
This needs to be a PA initiative.
and I think, and I'm working with kind of along those lines. I'm working with the district and pushing the district because the district is rebranding Fayette County as a whole. And so I'm pushing them for a lot of like, let's do these things. Uh-huh.
Have we found out anything about our branding?
Not yet. I had the meeting
I knew you did.
and it went great.
We haven't heard anything.
And
yet.
she said, it went great. We looked at everything.
I'll let you know.
Yeah, let you know. So I'm following up on Friday to see. I think they've gotten really inundated with the district rebranding because the district's getting a new logo, a new website, a new everything. And we are not, it's all about kids. The snowflake is gone. The creepy, weird children's snowflake is gone. So that will be going away. I don't know. It'll be released in July to principals. So the new logo,
I'll look at my office job.
they've held everybody, like no one's allowed to print anything new with the district logo on it. Like they put a cut on, they don't want anything else going out with the logo.
I
So,
do think whatever goes up needs to be more global, international.
Yes.
I agree.
um,
comprehensive and
multicultural,
yes,
It would be, yeah, I feel like this could be something that we could like really work on to get something that we all really.
Yeah.
Prime time,
Prime
all I
time.
wanted to talk about was you re-sign the contract.
I talked to them and it rolled forward. They only had me re-sign the contract because I was new.
So
Because I was the new, since I was the new principal, I had to sign the contract last year. But the contract rolled forward.
for 2 years?
Uh-huh.
Okay, well then never mind.
So,
I will let them know to find another
yes,
place to go.
yes. So there, yes, it
So
is.
Everybody. is fit.
Yes. So I'm enrolling my daughter in it because I just need a place for her to go and
Yeah.
me to stay sane.
No, I know, and that's
So-
okay, and they're gonna find another daycare, but it's just a lot of quiet time, a lot of inside time, a lot of group punishment, a lot
Yes.
of kids coming home crying. It's just not, it's like their school day is great.
Yeah.
But that's fine. All I really wanted to know is if we re-sign the contract and it was a 2-year commitment.
Yep.
yeah,
Yep.
we'll go-
So,
We'll talk about it next.
yeah, and we are working, I do have a meeting scheduled with them in June to kind of reflect on this year and
Okay.
talk about what do we need
So
to
it'd be a
improve.
good time for me to have parents send you feedback.
Yeah, any feedback, send that to me. I know Lauren has shared some things with me, like of things that have come home and just So, because we want that to be a good program, and so,
I mean, it's just, I feel like Glendover's beliefs and their beliefs don't
Yeah.
exactly align.
I don't really follow the rules of our
If
school.
things have become that extreme, it's a recent thing because it was like they were the other way extreme. And I think there were a lot of complaints in terms of they didn't have a lot of structure. They just let them run around, do everything. And I think there's been complaints over the years that they need to respect the rules. They need to, and I think they kind of went in their process of trying to get that done, went extremely the other way. So
Didn't have a
it's
middle ground.
maybe not
Yeah.
understanding exactly what the expectations are and how to
Yeah.
get there.
yeah, and my meeting is with the director, but I'm asking for like higher up why people, because we are constantly we've had 3 different regional directors this year.
Yeah.
Like, so it's hard to build any sort of anything because you say something to one person and then it changes, and it's a hard world to fill, like,
Absolutely.
to get that.
I just don't understand the 45 minutes to go to the bathroom, one person at a time. Like,
Not talking.
not talking.
It's
Like,
just not developmentally appropriate.
It's
I mean,
not.
I cringe when I walk by and they're yelling at the kids and making them be quiet. Like, they've done that all day. They've
Yeah.
stayed in order all day. They should be
but
able
the
to loosen
one,
up.
one person in the back, that's why they like lose their minds. Like,
Yes.
they have to stand there for
Yes.
45 minutes while
And then
everyone goes
they-
to the bathroom one at a time. Yeah, they're out there
Oh, it's
forever
forever.
going to the
Yeah.
I mean,
bathroom.
and then they all have to, like, Edith in kindergarten yesterday. He's like, and then we just had to sit inside for 30 minutes. I looked at the clock the whole time and we just weren't allowed to talk at all. And I'm
Yeah,
like,
it's
poor little
just
baby.
Yeah.
Like, it's just ridiculous.
Yeah, but yeah, it definitely, any feedback that any parents have,
I will.
get them to send it to me,
Send it
because
to
then
you.
I can,
But then on the other hand, I've
compile it.
seen them literally Lord of the Flies it, like where I'm like, what are you doing? Or like out of, like.
there's never a middle ground. It
Yep.
is either dictatorship or Lord of the Flies. It is.
Like, I think you all have formed like
And that is
eating each
absolutely lack
other,
of
or are you
respect.
digging in the dirt? Like, it's bad. Like,
Uh-huh.
you're like, what is happening?
It's lack of respect. for the
Yeah.
staff. It's just, there's no middle ground. Okay,
Yeah.
well,
Yep.
I got it.
Okay, Ms. Gerken, after school clubs.
So I was just talking to friends
Yep.
at other schools and they have way more after school things than we do.
Yes,
And I realized we are budget constrained, but like all these other schools must also be, I don't know. like,
Yes.
so what is going on? They're like, how are they getting teachers? Because the teacher has to stay for any club.
mhm.
So how are they getting teachers to stay after? How are
Some
they, like,
schools just use you're non-tenured, you need to do this.
Yeah.
Like, you want to keep your job, you're gonna stay for free.
Yeah.
Some schools
Schools
do
don't
pay,
Yeah.
like, it is a hard thing, and it's definitely, that is number one on my list, like in my office of ideas for next year, is how do we improve our after-school clubs in a way that's gonna be beneficial?
So,
Yes,
yeah, what I was thinking about was, again, most is leaning more towards the PTA and it's a lot easier to find a sponsor. Do you mind staying for 1 hour on Tuesdays? All you have to do is be in the building as my sponsor and then have PTA parents run the clubs.
yes,
Like on your interests, whether it's Girls on the Run,
That's what I'm doing for chess club, like.
yeah,
Yes.
when you do that. I mean, I texted
Yeah.
everybody that I knew and I found Girls on the Run people and God love my friends, but you know what I mean? Like, so I really want that to be another initiative of the PTA. I don't think they're going to be able to, there's going to be no monetary gain from that. But my thought is, if you want to see your school improve, you're going to want to put in that time. And if you're, then don't complain about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You do that, you do chess and that's amazing. And so like, I'm hoping that other parents are like, man, I really wish we had this and that and the other, then take an hour after school.
Yeah.
You know, so I know that Ms. Turner has also talked to you about her stipend for
Yes.
chorus. I would really love to be able to bring that back. I know that that was the budget for the beginning of the year.
yeah.
Next year,
Next year, we've already allocated it all currently to staffing.
Okay.
If day 10 comes back and we have extra people, and
Then
we can cash those in and put money back into that.
because that's something I really would want to do for those. I mean, there are certain clubs that can just be fun and we can just do, but then there's like, an academic team, parents can run academic
Yeah.
team.
Yeah.
It's not
There's
hard.
Battle of the books.
Yeah.
I mean,
Like, like I know Miss Cook is planning to do Governor's Cup next year. I know Miss Botts is planning to bring back the sewing club again next year. I know the new Spanish teacher is going to do an international world traveler club.
Okay.
And that is wonderful and lovely, but dear Lord, teachers have too much on their
They
plates.
do.
Yeah.
And
like,
these
I don't
parents have got to
like
step up if they're
anybody.
gonna
Yes.
complain about stuff.
Yeah, yeah, and something else kind of,
We've had problems
I would
before
run
when
battles of the books, too, if you were
people
here.
treat- people treat an after-school club like daycare.
And it's not, yeah, and I would help run like I've told Mary before that I would help her with chorus or anything
Yeah.
like that, like, I mean, everybody has their own thing, so I would love to take like a from church system at time and talents, like I would love to take a little survey at the beginning of the year. We're gonna have PTA liaisons for each grade level, as we talked about, and I would love for us to like say, like, what are some things you'd like to see? How can we find people in our school that can help do that? One of my good friends at Julius Mark, she runs a kindergarten reading club. I would love to run an after school kindergarten reading club. That would be so fun for me.
mhm,
So there's things like that.
Yeah, and it's just like as a parent, like I don't know like all the teachers and stuff.
yes,
I can't offer to help with things I don't know about.
Right.
And
Like I
my-
was like, oh, the battle of the books. something's so
And from a
great.
teacher
But I didn't even
perspective,
know.
and I'm just gonna jump on here only because I'm on-site based and I'm on leadership. And, you know, I mean, it's to stay, to say, yes, can you stay another hour? Well, sure. You know, I mean, it's just like then ever after, I'm already here Tuesdays,
course.
I'm already, you know, it's hard. And no, I don't have children, but at the same time, you know, people with children, it's hard.
But
You know.
hopefully, if we had more parents, if you weren't, if somebody puts them in charge of planning the thing, like,
yeah,
I literally just, because parents can't have an after-school activity without a building representative.
right.
But
Well, and there can be like, we could have like a Monday sponsor and they could sponsor 5 clubs and be the sponsor for multiple clubs on like, and it can be one staff member. They just have to be the point person. If there's an issue, the parent can come.
The chorus, the music teacher.
Yes.
is Clubs around Thursday, she could.
If she was willing, she could be the sponsor for the clubs and
Here.
just like, yes, you would check in and to be someplace where she would be able to supervise and make sure things are going fine. But yes, like at the high school levels, it's literally sports, like there's a sponsor who may not even be there during practice if it's a parent, like
Yeah.
it's,
But I mean, there is like the background check and the.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
and something we're doing, that we're looking at doing next year because of this issue, because we have staff that aren't able to stay, is we are looking at using our Fridays and our special area rotations to do enrichment classes and things like that are more clubbish based, that are more like students will get some choice in, hey, I want to do for this 7 weeks, I want to do this enrichment program, like it may be roller coaster design. And it could be, they could come in here and build roller coaster for 7 weeks to try and do that. And with a goal of moving forward, that we would maybe work with parents like, hey, can you just come in during this hour and help during the school day when our kids can be here? Because our kids, the kids that we would love to have in those after school clubs are the ones who can't stay because their parents can't get this. So we're trying to think of how do we provide opportunities during the school day for these kids with that.
Well, and I think it kind of goes to what we voted on,
Uh-huh.
just like, I think that the school needs to do a better job of reaching out to parents.
Mhm.
Cause I feel like I'm trying to be really active and I
Yes.
like do not know where I
I
can.
don't know half the
help.
things going on. I'm on-
Yes.
on-
Yes. Yeah, and I
Get it
agree.
better.
And then I think pairing
I
with,
don't know where it is, like it's PTA, but it's school and then it's.
Well,
Yeah,
it's like
I'm
what
like,
Emily
what's
said,
the-
if you had a contact person that you said, I have a child at first grade, and you're the first grade contact person, you can help me.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
yeah, it's good.
but yes, that is number one on the after school, and we will take all the help that we could get. And that's been something I've been saying to PTA is we would love to do more and more and more. We just need help. Like we got to all buy in and across the whole entire, between parents, teachers. So I think there are several teachers who would be willing to do something collaboratively with somebody else. It's the having to
Absolutely.
do it all independently.
Well, and there
Yes.
has to be some sort of contract with the families that sign up to say, you show up 45 minutes late to pick up your kid and you're not attending.
Yeah.
anymore,
Yeah.
You know,
She does have a course, right? Like,
yes,
you get
Yeah.
one, you get, yeah, so it has to be, because
nothing.
it happens and it's real
Oh,
frustrating.
Well,
when
and
you're-
if you have like, I know she has to go pick up her daughter, so for her to, have to stay after, then that kind of is a
Yes.
spiraling effect to her, so.
Yes.
All right.
That's all. I
Okay.
just wanted to
Yes.
bring it up.
Yes. No, I appreciate that. And I think it's definitely something that is what we want to do. Okay. Any other agenda items for tonight? Okay, we are at the super fun time where we are at adjournment. Do we have a motion to adjourn? Motion by Ms. A. Don't sound so excited about that. A second by Ms. Bowers. All in favor of adjourning our meeting, please say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you for joining us at home. We hope that you have a great night.